it is warm out there today, and it is warm. It's not just
I'm so used to grabbing my coat when I leave
exactly.
and I stepped outside and it was warm.
It's spring.
You don't need it.
Yeah, we went from winter last week to spring this week. Who knows what next week is going to have, right? Yeah. Temperatures out there this afternoon are sitting well above average for this time of year. We're sitting in the 80s right now down in Roswell. We did tie a record high temperature today, climbing up to 82 degrees just a little bit ago. Sunny skies and calm conditions, and temperatures around that 80-degree mark are going to continue in Roswell through the rest of this week. And this is a big change, too, compared to the colder than average January we had here across the state. Everywhere in New Mexico had below average temperatures over the course of January. The exception was southern Colorado, where Durango was basically right around average. But for us here in New Mexico, it was anywhere from a couple degrees to over 5 degrees cooler than average. And that also came with drier than normal weather. There were a couple spots out there, Roswell, that saw above average precipitation, but only by a couple hundredths of an inch. Clayton was right at average. The rest of New Mexico, these deficits don't look too bad, but January is usually our driest month of the year. So even though we were about 0.3 of an inch below average here in Albuquerque, that's still well below where we should have been for the month. There we go. 45th coldest January on record for us here in Albuquerque, and the 29th driest January on record for us as well, picking up only 0.07 of an inch of precipitation, and most of that fell in the form of some snow. We actually were right near average for that. 1.2 inches of snowfall during the month of January here in Albuquerque, putting us at just 0.2 of an inch below average. And now that we're in February, we're talking about record high temperatures. Roswell tying one today, Clayton shattering one by almost 10 degrees. Clayton climbing up to 82 this afternoon. Gallup, Albuquerque, Farmington, Santa Fe also breaking record high temperatures. We hit 70 this afternoon here in Albuquerque, our first 70-degree day of the year, the first time we've seen 70 degrees since November of last year. This breaks our record high of 66 degrees set all the way back in 1934 and puts us at almost 20 degrees above our average high temperature for the beginning of February. Still some 80s hanging on to eastern parts of New Mexico. 83 in Tucumcari and Carlsbad is the warmest it gets here across the state. Back into the 70s in Clayton, 60s here at Albuquerque and Santa Fe, along with western and northern New Mexico. Still in the 70s down into southern and southwestern parts of the state. Skies are mostly sunny as well. Just some high clouds streaming through, and it's going to be or continue to be a warm start to February as we're under this really broad area of high pressure and a slightly breezy west-southwesterly wind across New Mexico. That'll help to keep temperatures pretty mild and again even record-breaking tomorrow afternoon, including a chance for that again here in Albuquerque, and 70s and 80s into eastern parts of the state. Heading into Wednesday, more of the same. Might be a couple degrees cooler for some of us, but we'll actually be warmer into the southeastern part of New Mexico, or we'll again climb into the 80s for areas like Roswell and Carlsbad. Now that high pressure breaks down by the end of this week, as we also get some strengthening upper level winds across New Mexico. But despite that high pressure breaking down, it's still going to be very warm later this week, with high temperatures still feeling a lot more like spring even through Friday. But there is some change on the way this weekend with a cold front that'll sweep through, and that could even bring in a little bit of light snow into the San Juan Mountains in southern Colorado, potentially even across the peaks of the northern mountains. 70 again tomorrow afternoon. Highs will be up into the 70s and 80s across southern and southwestern New Mexico tomorrow, with temperatures staying in the 70s all the way through Sunday. Back up into the upper 70s tomorrow in Roswell, but then in the 80s on Wednesday. And high temperatures going to hover around that 80-degree mark through Friday till we get a stronger cold front to move in Saturday night. That'll bring highs down into the 50s on Sunday. Sunday's when we'll see temperatures back into the 40s in Las Vegas, but until then, we're still going to be in the 60s every afternoon through Friday with a bit of a breezy wind. Tomorrow getting close to 70 up in Espanola, highs in the low to mid 60s around Taos and Santa Fe. Notice those overnight lows are there. There's going to be above freezing tonight in Angel Fire and Red River compared to a week ago when we got down to 30 degrees below zero at night. Big temperature swings there. Getting close to 70 tomorrow again onto the East Mountains and the Estancia Valley. And here on the Metro, we'll make it back up to around 70 degrees tomorrow afternoon as well. Still expecting to tie a record high temperature tomorrow in the upper 60s still on Wednesday. 60s for highs continue into this weekend, and then it gets a little bit cooler starting Sunday.
All right. Thank you.